Brandon, good to see you again.
Nice to see you. So I watched this last night. I laughed a lot. And I think that the chemistry between all four of you is so good. When did you realize that, okay, wait, this is going to be really good? We're all getting along.
I think from the moment we got to Puerto Rico, we started the movie in Puerto Rico. We then moved to Atlanta. The pandemic happened in between. But when you're put in such a beautiful setting, we had a resort all to ourselves. And when we weren't in the resort that belonged to us, pretty much, we were bar hopping in Puerto Rico. And everybody was just having a good time. And it's a movie about vacation, like with a bunch of people who enjoy leaning into comedy and leaning into the uncomfortable and trying to make it funny. Like, that's a really good recipe for, at the very least, having a good time. And, I think that's a lot of what showed in the chemistry. Now, the underlying fact is we shot right up until the world shut down. And our last production day in Puerto Rico was like the last production day for anybody. And then we were one of the first productions back up and running. So not only did we have this like summer camp bond in Puerto Rico where we were just with each other going to these exotic locations, we were also the first people that we saw going back into work. So it's like, I haven't seen or interacted with anyone. Let me, expel my life and what, this has been like for me. And we all shared those stories and shared those moments. And I think that's a lot of what the chemistry can be attributed to, is the time we had to just kind of bond with each other.
One of the things about this is that the film does a really good job of balancing the crazy with characters that have heart. Can you sort of talk about like that line, if you will?
Yeah, I think good comedy does that well. It's taking instances that either are too uncomfortable to talk about or that we all are familiar with, and then taking them to the extreme. If you're dealing with someone going to the bathroom, it's going to be taken to the extreme, and then we get to laugh at it, and that's the comedy. If we're dealing with someone with no cell service, it's going to be taken to the extreme, and that's why we laugh at it. I think that's what comedy does well. And storytelling has to involve heart. You can't just do a bunch of jokes for the sake of a bunch of jokes. I think the memorable movies do have a sense of connection and a sense of heart and storytelling, and take the audience on a ride. And I think Vacation Friends does both.
I agree. Talk a little bit about filming that the drug trip, if you will, in the forest, because there's been a lot of those kind of sequences in movies, and I enjoyed this one. Maybe it's the Beastie Boys, maybe it was just the way it was filmed, or you guys, but it's a fun scene.
That's kind of how Clay described it. He's like, I listen, I know this is going to seem repetitive and weird, but have you ever seen any of the Beastie Boys Check Your Head stuff? Like, that's kind of what we're going for, that vibey fisheye lens, what you want type. And, Rel and I are both a fan of hip hop, and we kind of got that. So it was just in a forest in Atlanta, and he was just like, I just need you to laugh a lot and go crazy a lot and kind of lean into it. And we both did. And you're right. That's the vibe we were going for. So I'm glad he got that out of it.
What is it actually like filming like the montage of you guys partying from bar to bar? Because those montages, obviously it's like, it's a minute of screen time, but it's definitely a lot more than that when it comes to filming.
It was really cool because I got to see a bunch of locations in Puerto Rico. Like, that was really, really fun. And I think it was fun for everybody. So it's not like you're setting up a big action sequence. You're partying and drinking and doing some crazy stuff. And the downtime is just us at a bar. And every one of the cast members, nobody's tremendously recluse or secluded or privatized as a human being. Everybody is good with people. And I think it was a perfect cast and the perfect environment to just enjoy the process. And it made it really, really fun.
If I'm not mistaken, you're going to be working with Matthew Vaughn in the not so distant future.
Correct.
I am a big fan of Matthew Vaughn.
So am I.
What can you tease about this upcoming film, which has a lot of awesome people in it?
Well, if you look at what Matthew Vaughn does with properties, and you look at how he stages things, and I love how he tells stories as well. I love how he sets the table to tell a wonderful tale, and also takes things to the extreme, but at the same token has characters with heart. I know this was recently acquired by Apple, and I know Matthew's vision for the whole scope of everything. So he's going to do what he does, and he's very capable at what he does. And I think this is the first of many things you'll see from the Argylle umbrella. And that's my hope. I really look forward to working with him. And I think what he has on the page has such tremendous potential. And I know he's going to bring it to life in a way that's going to entertain us all. And I really look forward to doing more.
When do you leave for London to film? When are you making it?
That is all classified. I can tell you this. I can tell you I will be at SummerSlam for the WWE on August 21st. And I will also be in Madison Square Garden for the WWE on September 10th. So the stuff around that is completely classified, but I can tell you those things.
Got it. What are you actually thinking about? You've actually been working on some really cool stuff recently. What are you looking at for the future? And is after Matthew Vaughn, are you looking at certain scripts, certain roles, or is it?
I'm always reading, and I want to work with good folks, but I also want to work with stuff that is within my skill set, but kind of pushes me and challenges me a little bit. And I don't know what that's going to be until I read it. So I continuously read scripts, and if I'm moved by one, I'm not looking for like, I want this role or I want this franchise or something like that. It could be the smallest part in a story that I find interesting, and I would want to do it. That's I really just enjoy entertaining, and I really enjoy getting lost in the material. And I just want to be able to do work that I enjoy doing every day. I don't ever want such a job where I get to play dress up, to be a burden. So a good litmus test for me is to read the material and like it first. And I think that's why you see such a wide range of stuff, from big action franchise to Inside the Crazy Mind of James Gunn to a Vacation Friends comedy to a Matthew Vaughn type movie that you'll see and be wonderfully excited with, but it has its own style and its own narrative. It's just because I like the stories, man. I really do like the stories.
Congrats on this. Thank you for making me laugh. And I cannot wait to talk to you about Peacemaker in January.
That'll be fun.